My girlfriend texted, "I'm going on a soul-arching road trip with my ex in your car." I replied, "Have fun." Then I immediately reported the car stolen and sent its GPS coordinates to the highway patrol when she was pulled over in the middle of nowhere at 3:00 a.m. So, my ex-girlfriend is currently explaining to a Nevada judge why she thought it was okay to take my car on a soul-arching road trip with her ex-boyfriend. The judge is not impressed with the spiritual growth defense. But let me back up because this story is absolutely unhinged. 3 days ago, I come home from work and Rachel is in the bedroom packing a duffel bag. I figure she's going to visit her sister or something. Nope. She sits me down and says she needs to talk. Always a great start. She tells me she's been doing a lot of thinking, that our relationship has felt stagnant, that she needs to reconnect with herself. Okay. Then she drops it. She's going on a cross-country road trip for a month to find herself. I'm like, all right, that's sudden, but okay. Then I ask, who's going with you? She gets this look, says her ex-boyfriend Jonas is going with her. I just stare at her. I'm sorry, what? She says, Jonas, her ex from college. They've been talking recently, just as friends. He's also going through a spiritual awakening. They both need this journey. It's purely platonic, about growth. I'm still processing this when she hits me with the third bomb. They're taking my car, not her car, mine. Because her car is unreliable and Jonas doesn't have a car at all. But my car is perfect for a long road trip. So, just to recap, my girlfriend wants to take my car on a month-long cross-country trip with her ex-boyfriend for spiritual reasons. And I'm supposed to be cool with this. I ask if she's serious. She says completely serious that I'm either supportive of her growth or I'm not. That Jonas is just a friend now. That nothing is going to happen. That I need to trust her. And also she needs my car. I ask what I'm supposed to drive. She says I can use her car, the 2009 Honda with the check engine light that's been on since the first Obama term. I can drive that while she and her ex cruise around in my almost new car, finding themselves, the car that's only in my name, that I'm still making payments on, that she's not on the insurance for that car. I look at her and something in me just goes cold. I realize if I argue, she'll just get defensive and we'll fight and she'll probably take it anyway and claim I agreed eventually. So I play it smart. I say, okay, sounds like you've made up your mind. She seems surprised, says she expected more resistance. I say, I'll think about it overnight. We can talk in the morning before you leave. She seems relieved, says, okay, that she appreciates me being mature about this. That Jonas is coming over tonight to plan the route. I just nod. That night, Jonas shows up around 10 now. I answer the door. He's exactly what I expected. Man bun, flannel shirt, beaded bracelets, gives me this condescending smile and says, hey man, appreciate you being cool about this. Most guys wouldn't understand. I just look at him, say, yep, I'm very understanding. He comes in. Him and Rachel are looking at maps, planning their route, talking about all the places they'll stop, national parks, desert landscapes, the Pacific coast. They're laughing together, having a great time planning this trip. In my living room, using my car, I go to bed. Leave them out there planning. I can hear them talking through the door. Rachel's laughing at something. Jonas said, whatever. After she comes to bed, I wait until she's asleep. Then I get up, pull out my laptop, check my insurance policy. She's definitely not on it. Then I open the GPS tracker app. I installed a tracker when I bought the car. Insurance discount. There's my car in the parking lot. Battery full. Updates every 5 minutes when moving. I sit there looking at this app, thinking about what's about to happen. Then I start laughing quietly so I don't wake her up. This is going to be good. Next morning, I'm up at 5. Before they are, Rachel comes out around 5:30. Surprised I'm awake. I tell her we need to talk before she leaves. I sit her down. Say, look, I thought about this all night. I'm not comfortable with you taking my car on a trip with Jonas. It's too much. She needs to take her own car or rent one. She says her car won't make it and rentals are expensive. I say, those aren't my problems. She says, I promise to think about it. I say, I did think about it. The answer is, no, you don't have my permission to take my car. She stares at me, says it's too late. Jonas is on his way. Everything is planned. I say, then unplan it. She says, I'm being controlling and jealous. That this is exactly why she needs this trip, to figure out if she can be with someone this insecure. I say, you can figure that out in a rental car. She says she's taking my car, that I'll get over it. I tell her directly, Rachel, if you take my car without my permission, that is theft. She actually laughs, says, I wouldn't call the cops on my own girlfriend. I don't say anything. Just look at her. Jonas shows up at 6 and knocks on the door. I answer. He's exactly what I expected. Man bun, flannel shirt, beaded bracelets, gives me this condescending smile and says, hey man, thanks for being cool about this. Most guys wouldn't be so evolved. I look at him, say, I'm not being cool about it. Rachel doesn't have my permission to take my car. He looks at Rachel. She says, ignore him. He's being dramatic. Tells Jonas to start loading their stuff. Jonas looks uncomfortable, but does it. They start putting bags in my car. I watch them load everything. Their duffel bags, cooler, camping gear. Jonas has a guitar. Of course he does. Rachel won't look at me. Jonas keeps glancing over like he's worried I'm going to do something. I stand there for exactly 5 minutes. Then I go inside, pull out my phone, call my insurance company. Lady answers. I explain the situation. My girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend just took my car on a road trip. I explicitly told her she didn't have permission. She's not on my insurance. The lady is quiet for a second, then asks me to repeat that. I do. She says, okay, so your girlfriend and another man took your car without permission. I say, correct. She says, I need to report this as stolen immediately, that if anything happens, I'm not covered. I say, I'm calling the police next. I call the police non-emergency line. Dispatcher answers. I explain everything. My girlfriend took my car on a trip with her ex-boyfriend. I explicitly denied permission this morning. She took it anyway. Dispatcher asks a few questions. Confirms she's not on the title or insurance. Confirms I told her no. Says, okay, we can file this as unauthorized use of a vehicle. Takes all my info, car details, Rachel's information. Says it'll be in the system within the hour. Gives me a case number. I thank him and hang up. Open my laptop. Pull up the GPS tracker. There they are. Little blue dot heading west. Speed showing 70 mph. I make another coffee and just watch. My coworker texts asking if I want to grab lunch. I tell him I can't. I'm watching my girlfriend and her ex steal my car in real time. He calls me immediately. I explain the whole thing. He's dying, laughing. Says, this is insane. I say, yeah, it's pretty good. He asks what I'm going to do. I say, I'm going to watch them drive across the country, and then I'm going to call the cops on them. He says, that's cold-blooded. I say, they took my car to go on a romantic road trip. He says, fair point. Around noon, Rachel texts me. Picture of them at some rest stop. Her and Jonas smiling. Caption says, feeling free already. I don't respond. That evening, they stop at a motel in Kansas. GPS shows they're parked. Rachel calls me around 9, all happy. Says the drive was amazing. That her and Jonas have been having deep conversations. That she's already feeling more connected to herself. I ask where they're staying, she tells me. I ask when she's planning to come back. She says she's not putting a timeline on it. That I need to let go of control. I say, Rachel, I want my car back. She says she'll bring it back when she's done. I say, I want it back now. She says I'm being insecure about Jonas, that nothing is happening between them. That this is about her journey. I say, bring my car back. She says she has to go. Jonas is waiting, hangs up. I call the police back. Tell them I tried to get her to return the vehicle. She refused. She's in Kansas heading west. Dispatcher asks if I want to escalate to stolen vehicle. I say absolutely. She took it after I said no and now won't return it. He upgrades the report, says now any officer who runs the plates will see it's flagged as stolen. I hang up, look at the GPS. They're still at the motel. I go to bed, sleep great. Next day I'm watching them drive through Colorado. They stop at scenic overlooks. Stop for lunch. Rachel texts me pictures, her and Jonas at some mountain viewpoint. Both of them looking very spiritual and connected. I screenshot everything. Don't respond. Around 3 my phone rings. Colorado State Patrol officer says he ran my plates during the patrol. Came up stolen. Is the vehicle still missing? I say, yes, currently in Colorado. I'm tracking it via GPS. He asks if I want them to attempt recovery. I say, not yet. I'll let you know when they're somewhere good. He gives me his direct number, says, call anytime. That night, Rachel calls from some campground, goes on about how beautiful Colorado is, how she and Jonas went hiking, how connected they feel to nature. I ask if they're sleeping in separate tents. She gets quiet, says they're sharing a tent but nothing is happening, that I'm being jealous. I say, you're on a road trip with your ex in my car, sleeping in the same tent. She says I'm being toxic, hangs up. My brother calls, asks how I'm doing. I tell him everything. He cannot believe what he's hearing. Says I need to get the car back now. I say I'm working on it. He asks what that means. I say I'm letting them get really far from home first. He starts laughing. Says you're evil. I say they're stealing my car. He says, keep him updated. Day 3. They're in Utah desert highways. Rachel sends pictures of red rocks. Her and Jonas doing yoga at sunrise. I'm watching the GPS thinking you're about to be doing yoga in handcuffs. By evening, they're in Nevada, middle of nowhere. They stop at this tiny motel. I look it up. 6 rooms, 1-star reviews. Someone wrote they saw a scorpion the size of a phone. Another review just says don't. Rachel calls around 11, says they're exhausted. Motel is sketchy, but they're too tired to keep driving. They'll push for California tomorrow. Finally make it to the coast. I say, Rachel, I need you to bring my car back right now. She says she's in the middle of a journey, that I'm being controlling, that she'll bring it back when they're done. I say, I want it back now. She says she's hanging up, that I'm killing her vibe. Call ends. I look at the GPS. They're parked at that motel in the middle of absolute nowhere. Nearest town is 80 miles. I call Nevada Highway Patrol. Dispatcher answers. I tell her I've got an active stolen vehicle report, that I'm tracking it via GPS, that it's currently at a motel in the middle of their state. I give the exact address, all my vehicle information, my case number. She pulls it up, confirms she sees the stolen vehicle flag, asks if I want them to recover it. I say yes. Both occupants are likely asleep. Car should be there for hours. She asks who's in the vehicle. I say my girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend. They took my car on a road trip after I explicitly denied permission. She's quiet for a second, then says, okay, we'll send a unit. They'll recover the vehicle and deal with the occupants. Keep my phone on. I hang up, text my brother, tell him it's happening. He responds, this is the greatest thing ever. Please keep me updated. I'm sitting there watching the GPS, drinking coffee at midnight on a Wednesday, living my best life. Little after 1 in the morning, my phone rings. Nevada Highway Patrol officer says they're at the motel. Located the vehicle plates match, asks me to verify the VIN. I read it off my registration. Matches. Says they're about to make contact with the occupants. Asks if I can hold. I hold for maybe 7 minutes. Longest 7 minutes ever. He comes back. Says they knocked on the motel room door. 2 individuals answered. They identified as Rachel and Jonas. Both claimed they had permission to use the vehicle. I say negative. I explicitly told Rachel this morning she did not have permission. I've asked her to return it multiple times since. She's refused every time. She's not on my insurance registration or title. I want my vehicle back. He asks if I'll provide a written statement. I say absolutely. Send me whatever you need. He says okay. Based on your statement as the registered owner, we're recovering the vehicle. Both individuals are being placed under arrest for vehicle theft. Vehicle will be towed to impound. I'm quiet for a second. Then I say, both of them? He says, yes, both occupants. They're both culpable. I say, okay, that's fine. He says, they're making statements about this being a misunderstanding, that they're in a relationship with me. I say, she's in a relationship with me. He's her ex-boyfriend. They took my car on a trip together. Officer actually laughs a little. Says, okay, that's a new one. Tells me someone will call with impound info. I thank him. Then my phone explodes. Rachel calling over and over. Jonas calling from a different number. Texts flooding in. What did you do? The police are here. They're saying the car is stolen. You called the cops on us. This is insane. We're getting arrested. How could you do this? I don't respond to any of it. Just watch the GPS until the car moves to an impound lot. Then I go to bed. Next morning I wake up to maybe 60 messages. Rachel's friends, her mom, her sister, all asking what's wrong with me, how I could do this. She was just on a trip. I text her friend Jenna back. Say Rachel took my car with her ex-boyfriend on a month-long trip after I explicitly told her she couldn't. She refused to return it. I reported it stolen. That's what happened. Jenna responds that I'm insane, that Rachel was just trying to grow, that I'm jealous and controlling. I type back she got arrested with her ex-boyfriend in my car in the middle of Nevada at 3:00 in the morning. How's that for growth? She blocks me. Rachel's sister calls yelling, says, I got Rachel arrested with some guy at 3:00 a.m. What's wrong with me? I say, Rachel stole my car to go on a road trip with her ex. She says it wasn't stolen. She's my girlfriend. I say, cool. So I can take her car to Mexico with my ex-girlfriend for a month. She goes quiet, I hang up. My brother calls laughing so hard he can barely breathe. Says this is the best story he's ever heard. That I'm a legend. I say they arrested Jonas too. He loses it. Says, of course they did. He was in a stolen car. I say, yeah, but the visual of him getting arrested at 3 a.m. on a spiritual journey. My brother says, please tell me you're going to get the car. I say, obviously. He says, I'm coming with you. I call the impound lot. Guy answers. I explain I'm the registered owner. He confirms they have it. 200 for tow, 50 per day storage. I say, I'll be there in 2 days. He says, no problem. My brother and I leave that afternoon. He's bringing snacks and making a playlist. Says this is the best road trip he's ever been on. We drive straight through, switching off. He's texting all his friends updates. They're sending him gas money. One sends $20. Says it's worth it for the story. We get to Nevada next evening. Go to the impound lot. I show my registration, pay the fees, $250 total. Guy gives me my keys. Says this was a weird one. I say, yeah, it was. I walk out to my car. It's parked between a truck with no doors and a sedan that's been utterly destroyed. I unlock it. All their stuff is still inside. Rachel's duffel bag, Jonas's guitar, his journal, their tent. I take it all out, hand it to my brother. He opens Jonas's journal, reads a line out loud. The universe speaks through those who listen. He looks at me. I look at him. We start dying laughing. I get in my car, start it up. Everything works. Check the miles. Almost 2,000 me. Cool. My brother follows me to a gas station. I fill up. Check everything. All good. We start driving home. About 2 hours and my brother's phone rings. Rachel. She's been calling him because she's blocked on my phone. He looks at me. I shrug. He answers on speaker. Rachel is crying hysterically. Says she can't believe I did this. That she and Jonas were arrested. Spent hours in a cell. That she was put in handcuffs. That everyone saw. That Jonas is furious with her. That his parents had to bail him out. That her parents had to bail her out. That I destroyed everything. My brother lets her go on for a full minute. Then he says, "Did you ask permission to take the car?" She stops crying. Says that's not the point. He says, "Seems like the entire point." She says, "Couples share things." He goes, "Okay, but you took it with your ex-boyfriend." She says, "It was just a spiritual journey." He says, "You got arrested in the middle of nowhere at 3:00 in the morning sharing a tent with your ex in his car." She starts yelling about how I'm controlling. He hangs up. I'm laughing so hard I almost have to pull over. My brother's crying, laughing. Says, "Your ex is something else." I say, "Yeah, she found herself." "All right, in the Nevada criminal justice system," he says, with her ex-boyfriend. I say, "That's the best part." We drive through the night. Get home next morning. I park my car in my spot, walk up to my apartment. Lock's already changed. Called my landlord from the road. He did it same day. Said Rachel's name was never on the lease anyway. Inside, most of Rachel's stuff is gone. She had someone grab it, but plenty is still here. I bag it up. My brother helps. We're throwing everything in trash bags. He finds a vision board. It's got pictures of beaches and words like manifest and abundance. He shows it to me. I tell him to toss it. He does. Rachel has a court date in Nevada coming up. Her public defender told her to take a plea deal. Said fighting it would cost money, and the facts are terrible. She took a vehicle across state lines without permission with her ex-boyfriend, then refused to return it. Jonas apparently got the same advice. They both took plea deals, plead guilty to unauthorized use of a vehicle. Each got 18 months probation, $1,000 fine each. Had to split restitution for my impound fees. My brother went to the courthouse, sat in the gallery, texted me updates, said the judge asked Rachel why she thought it was appropriate to take someone's car with her ex-boyfriend for a month. Rachel apparently said something about spiritual growth and personal journeys. Judge said personal journeys don't include other people's property. Sentenced her right there. Then Jonas went up. Judge asked him why he thought getting in a stolen car was a good idea. Jonas apparently said he didn't know it was stolen. That Rachel said she had permission. Judge said that's why you check these things. Especially when you're going on trips with someone else's girlfriend. Jonas tried to argue. Judge shut him down. Same sentence. My brother said they both cried. Their parents were there. Also very upset. Everyone left separately. He waited until they were gone. Said it was the best afternoon he'd had in years. Rachel's mom called me that night. I answer. She goes off immediately. Says I gave Rachel a criminal record. That she was just trying to grow. I let her talk. Then I say she took my car with her ex-boyfriend after I said no. Your daughter made choices. She says I'm vindictive. I say I'm practical. She hangs up. Few weeks later, I hear through mutual friends that Rachel and Jonas actually tried to date after all this. Lasted 2 weeks. Apparently, the arrest kind of killed the spiritual connection. Also, Jonas's parents threatened to cut him off if he kept seeing the girl who got him arrested. He chose his parents. I donate most of Rachel's leftover stuff. Sell some things online. Make like $200. Use it for gas money from the Nevada trip. Fair trade. She used my car. I'll use her stuff. Month later, I'm at the grocery store. See Jonas in the produce section. He sees me. Looks like he wants to disappear. I just nod at him. Keep shopping. He practically runs out of the store. My brother was with me. Says that's the guy. I say, yep. He says he looks exactly how I pictured. Man, bun and all. Started dating someone new. Few months later, she has her own car. Has never asked to borrow mine. Doesn't have an ex. She wants to take on spiritual journeys. It's refreshing. People ask if I feel bad about the arrest. I don't. They took my car without permission after I explicitly said no. Then refused to return it. Took it across multiple state lines with her ex-boyfriend while telling me nothing was happening. That's not soul-searching. That's theft with terrible judgment. The arrests were just consequences. They could have not taken my car. Could have taken her car. Could have rented a car. Could have not gone on a romantic road trip while she was dating me. Lots of options. They chose the worst one. So yeah, don't take people's cars without permission, especially if you're taking them with your ex. Turns out that's illegal and also a terrible idea. Who knew? Well, Rachel and Jonas know now, and my car is exactly where it belongs, in my parking spot, with nobody's ex-boyfriend driving.